Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. It looks like we're live here. How are you doing, Craig?
I'm fantastic. I got to tell you, I'm getting excited.
Yeah.
This mixture we got coming. It's looking good.
Yeah, I know. Mixer in DC. We've talked about that for a while, right?
Yeah.
And we haven't really ventured to that coast, and especially not up that high in the country. So it'll be interesting. What's your expectations?
Well, I'm telling you, and I agree with you. Like, we've spent some time about, where do we go? Like, what's valuable? What kind of has an audience? What brings in, has a kind of a built-in audience, and so you start thinking about those places, specifically, and it's the hotbed places, right? It's L.A., New York, D.C., the Bay. We were in Seattle last year,
Hmm.
and then then like the bigger shows, the conferences and things like that. Like where is it so we can get the most bang for our buck, and they can get the most bang for their buck and all the attendees, right?
Yeah, exactly,
Um,
exactly.
yeah.
So
So right now we're looking good. Registrations, I believe we're up over 50 already, and we weren't
wow.
we weren't there for Vegas at this point last year, and we had over 100 people attending the Vegas event. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's looking good.
No, and maybe we should kind of like back up a little bit since we are live and we're talking about this, and we hope that somebody out there from the DC area kind of hears this. So, what is it exactly that we're doing, Craig? What is the executive protection mixer?
Well, it is a gathering of executive protection professionals, or would be executive protection professionals. People that it's not only that we have companies that are sponsoring and showing up, and those people they're potentially hiring. This is a place to come learn, talk to the people that have been in the industry for a long time,
Hmm.
and obviously newcomers are welcome. People that are in the industry, own the company, or people that are your detail leaders, your program managers, people that are employees but also that have a lot of experience, and then the people that are coming in that are brand new, and getting the chance and the up close availability to people that are hiring, that have experience, that can set them on the right path. And
Hmm.
so it's really a mix of all those folks that are either in the industry, new to it, 1 year experience, 20 years experience. It's just a great mixture of people that are in it, interested in it, and that want to connect.
Yeah, I usually say that it's for anybody that's in the EP space, right? Because we also see people that does maybe not directly EP, but does some of the support functions
Mhm.
like TSCM, security drivers, even some high-end technology installers, and whatever else. Anybody who feel like they have a tie to the executive protection industry is welcome, right?
Agreed. For sure, and that's the beauty of this, right? We've talked about this at length of, like, we want to keep this free for people to attend, right?
Yeah.
And so if you can get there, you're welcome, and you can have a conversation about the transition. Maybe it's law enforcement, right? A couple of my buddies work down in DC for the Uniform Division Secret Service. I'm like, hey, come
Uh-huh.
on in. Like, you don't know what are you doing when you retire,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
do you want to get out, right now? So
Exactly.
yeah, there's all kinds of availabilities there.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things that I really enjoy when I come to these mixers is that you get to know a lot of new people. And a lot of new people is not necessarily that they're, like you said, new to the industry. It can also be somebody that you've known of, or that have been in the industry for a long time. You just never put face to the name. Or it can be people that you never heard of or met before that might know you or whatever, right? I know that I'm typically tired after these things because my jaws are on fire from how much I'm talking to people, and I'm really enjoying myself every time. So I'm
Yeah.
really really looking forward to it. So let me ask you this, Craig: if I'm hearing this or I'm seeing it on social media or whatever, and I decide I want to attend, how does that work?
Well, you head over to our website, it's epmixer.com. Really easy. I was so grateful that domain was available. We have a registration form right there. You fill out the information, you click send, and you register. You'll get an email, and then you'll get, as the time gets closer, you'll get a couple follow-up emails to remind you, one, that it's happening, that you signed up for this thing, but then also like hey, make sure that you have your business cards. Hey, there's no dress code, but remember that you might be getting interviewed and you don't even know it. So, there's some reminders of best practices in networking to heed.
That's perfect. So, does it cost anything?
Nope. We are free to anybody who wants to register and attend. Obviously, we have sponsors. They're taking care of it, so we make sure that we recognize them during the event. We'll stop for 5 or 10 minutes. Hey, listen, guys, thank you. This isn't a pitch time, but it's a thank you for making this happen, because without them, it doesn't, but also without the attendees, there's no one to entertain, except for the sponsors. So we want as many people as we can get there. I just answered a message from on LinkedIn. It says, hey, I want to come. Can I bring somebody? I'm like, yeah, to bring as many people as you want, but also to get them registered, so that we know that they are and we can welcome them. And that's what we want to do. Yeah.
No, and the whole thing about registering, it's also so we are sure that we have capacity for everybody. So register if you can, but if you, let's say that you're on a detail that get canceled, or the boss changes his plans or whatever, and you haven't registered and it's last minute, show up anyway.
Please.
It's not like we are going to turn anybody away at the door.
No.
We just ask you to register with your email. And the only reason for that is not like we're going to spam anybody or anything like that, but we like to be able to know who has been there, so we can tell our sponsors that this is the amount of people that were there and these are the people, right? Yeah. And just to make it clear for everybody, it's not one of those events where the sponsors will be trying to sell you a bunch of things. Actually, on the contrary, from the beginning, we have kind of asked the sponsors to be part of this on a very, very different way, because we show their logos in our promotion, and we recognize them there, and their logos will be shown, and we're eternal grateful. And of course, we do what we can to support them, but it's not about the sponsors. It's about the people that come, and it's about everybody having time to network with everybody and talk to everybody, really. Wouldn't you say?
Agree. Well, 100%. And that was, and we did talk about that. And we still continue to, it's like, do we do things differently? What can we improve? What makes it better? What's a better experience for the attendees? And let's not, you're not forgetting, but let's remind everybody, it's like the sponsors there, they're also, for the most part, are in attendance, so they're getting something out of this as well. Like, yeah, it's their dollars and cents that are in it, but are they hiring? Who are they? Do they need to meet somebody in a different state that they're not licensed in to do work? Are they growing their network as well? And so the answer is absolutely is yes. So it's while we've asked them, hey, listen, here's what's going to happen, and we push out a lot of content to support the group of sponsors, but then everybody kind of gets their moment in the sun. All the sponsors, hey, you'll get an individual post, and then if you want to do a sponsor spotlight, which I just recorded one earlier, when I asked him, like, hey, where's the value, and he goes, in the support. Brand recognition, but we want to support the industry, and specifically for him, it was anybody that was a newcomer. We want to help mentor, people into the industry in the right way, so that they can, get off on the right foot. Because there's plenty of people that are out there that maybe they don't have the best intentions, but these sponsors certainly do, because they're part of the industry. They're showing up. They're putting their money where their mouth is, and they want to help steer it the best they can for the industry as a whole. That's Absolutely. Been my feeling with everybody.
No, and it's a feeling I got as well. And it's kind of amazing, right? Because if we go back to the last one we had, which was in Las Vegas after the ISC West conference, How many people did we have there? We had over 100, didn't we?
Yeah, it was over 100. It was a little sketchy on the exact 100, but it was over 100. So that I was pretty excited about that. And I know you were there all night, and so and again, you leave tired, right? And I think I texted you the next day, "Hey, are we getting together for breakfast?" You're like, "No, man."
Yeah,
I was tired. I was glad you said no. I was tired too.
No, and it was really interesting because there were people there that runs some of the bigger corporate teams. There were people there that run some really big sports events and sports teams. There were super seasoned practitioners. There were EP companies. There were people getting into the business. There was people from the TSCM world. There was even a couple of private investigators. There were people that do workplace violence. There was all sorts of representation from the industry, and it was good. I mean, we've had some mixers with over 100. We even had some mixers with over 200 people, right?
Yeah.
So I think the result kind of speaks for itself when you think about it, Craig, because there must be a need, right? And every time we do one of these, I'm always amazed with the people who travels from one coast to another to be at one of these mixers, right? And it must be worth it when people do that. And one of the things I always look at is, yeah, okay, you and I do it, but we're also the hosts of these, and we like do it, and we feel like it's an obligation to the industry. But what's really cool is that other people think that it's that important to meet people in that region that they either combine it with travel they already have there, or they actually travel there for that. I think that's really cool, really cool.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the earlier iteration of what has become EP Mixer, we held in Columbus, Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had people and it was centrally located for like the Midwest. So we had people from Indiana, Michigan, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, which all touch Ohio, come in, and which was great. We had a guy from Virginia who was he's from Virginia, but he was in Pittsburgh. And so he came over. It was a quick drive for him. But then we also had a guy fly in from LA because nobody else is, again, it was like, well, this is the first time I've heard of something like this. Now, as you know, there's been a couple of other ones that have popped up, but I believe it stems from what we've created here. But people are willing to make that trip, and because they're seeing the value, and again, the recording I just did was, hey, I'd love to see you come back. And I'm like, at some point, it's looking good. So
it's really cool. It's really cool. So how many of these mixers do we do a year? Can you talk a little bit about what EP Mixer really is and what it is that we do?
Well, we did 6 last year, right? And we started in February. We started in South Florida, went over to New Orleans, then Milwaukee, then Nashville, then Seattle in June. Had a little bit of a break, thank goodness, and capped it last year in Dallas after GSX. And when you mentioned over 200 attendees, that was well over 200 attendees. We were starting to knock on the door of 3, and it was a very well received, very valuable. A lot of compliments. People walking out, catching me on the phone, talking to somebody as they're on their way out. They're like, "Hey, man, thanks. This was great." And so that's good. So, we've 4 planned this year. Obviously, we did Vegas around ISC West last month. We're looking at a standalone event in DC. It's on a Saturday, which is kind of new for us because we haven't done many weekend events. And then
we did one in Dallas. Remember, that was a Saturday, I think.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. All right. I'll take your word for it.
I believe it was. Yeah.
And so then, we're looking down the road again to probably another GSX event, and then another one on the West Coast, towards the end of the year ish, and so there's 4 quarterly. And, I think when we get together in DC, we'll probably talk a little bit more about a 2025 plan. But also too, we're talking about 2025 right now so we can continue to deliver these things. And again, we talked about earlier, it's to bring people together, to give them the opportunity to to talk to other professionals, other would-be professionals, people that are interested in the industry, making a transition. Maybe they don't know, right? And so we keep it free. The people that are, that are attending, they can come and talk to somebody who's been in it for 20 years, or talk to somebody that got out of an EP school a week ago, and they can compare notes, and they can. And one thing that I think it's overlooked a lot around networking is that it's such a learning potential, because you're in a room full of people that all have different professional experiences. Even if you're on the same detail, you've had a different experience than somebody that was a driver, or somebody's on RST, or somebody that was doing the advance. But then also, you've had people that are law enforcement, you have people that have been in hospitality, you have people that were, military, or a lot in military, and they grew up differently, and they're from a different country, and they have a different, background, and just on and on of all the differences that are in that room. But one thing brought us all together, and so we have a chance to compare notes, and to really learn. And that's one thing that I think often gets overlooked, even if people are just looking for a job. Hey, I'm just here. I just want to try and find some work, or I need a partner in a different state. The learning that can happen there, without it feeling like learning, I think is unmeasurable, to be honest. So I get excited about it.
Oh, absolutely. I think, I think it's kind of epic, and it's kind of unique, right? Because you literally get a chance, and you have access to people at all levels, and I don't know. I just think it's really cool. But then again, if you and I didn't like it, I mean, there would probably be something wrong, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have anything else you feel we should talk about or bring up while we're here?
No, I think it's, hey, it's coming up here. We're within a month, right? As far as the date goes, it's May 10th, and we're having it on June 8th. So we're, it's coming quick. So if you haven't made your plans, make your plans, get there. It's going to be, again, Saturday, June 8th at Highline RXR, which came pretty well recommended. It seems like a great place. They've been really great to work with too.
Okay.
So I'm excited that it, when places are like that, because sometimes it can be a challenge, but they've been great. And if you, like you said, if you can register, please do. If you can't, that's okay. Come anyway. We'll be there. Well, you are more than welcome, and we're excited. We're excited to have you. So that's it. I think that's kind of it.
There. We'll raffle off some stuff normally, right? Do we do this again this time? I have a couple of books I'm going to bring that we can raffle off.
For sure.
I don't know if there's any other stuff, but it's just a good vibe, and it's a lot of fun. So come, and it's not about dressing up. It's not about impressing. It's not about chest pumping anything. It's all about having a good time, getting to know each other, and celebrate each other, I would say, more than anything, and be in a kind of helping mindset. So
and that's the thing, is that this is the place to do that. There's nothing really before or after. It's just come and hang out, right? And here, let me say this real quick. If you're not sure if you want to come, man, I don't know anybody, I'm new to the industry. Ask for me. Where's Craig? Right? I need an introduction, or like put me in front of somebody. Like I'm happy to be the so-called matchmaker for you, right? But it's a room full of people that are looking to connect. So you can walk up to somebody and just start a conversation, and it's fine. Like just come and have a good time.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hey man, I am gonna let you get back to your day. I just wanted to hit you up here really quick. I might do it one more time before the mixer to get the word out there. All right.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it,
man. All right. Have a good weekend, and I see you in about a month, Craig.
Sounds good.
All right. Take care, man.
Later, man.
Bye.